podcast listeners, this is Jess, and I am coming to you from Nuremberg. I thought I'd do a little report from this year's festival. And this year, I have decided that I'm going to get a little snippety chat with everybody who is in our Prineus portfolio. So, excuse the background noise. It's not too noisy today, but I thought I'd catch everybody. And I'm starting at the far end of the table from where I've been stood all weekend. I'm starting with Gary from Lindores Abbey. Hello, Gary. Would you like to introduce yourself and what you do at Lindores?
Of course, Jess. My name's Gary, and I'm the distillery manager at Lindores.
Lovely. And obviously, I've taken a lovely picture of you.
Thank you.
But for the benefit of the listeners who can't see this, you are stood by a literal copy of yourself.
I am indeed, yes. It catches me out every so often. I think there's somebody trying to sneak up on me, and Elliot actually looks like he's picking his nose, to be honest with you, and it's a bit scary.
Yeah, you've definitely, I think you've come off best in the two pictures.
Thank you.
So today this weekend at the festival, Lindores have brought a special exclusive with them. Do you want to explain what's happened here?
Yeah, so Prineus did ask us if we could have a battle of the bottles. So myself and Elliot chose a cask each. We took a 4-year-old bourbon. Mm-hmm. We vatted about 30 casks. We then took that spirit. I put mine into a single cream sherry cask, and Elliot put his into a Palo Catardo. Some people think that cream's actually literally used for cream. It is not.
It's not.
It's just a simple combination of Pedro Jimenez and Oloroso, which gives this smooth, rich flavour, hence the name cream. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that expect that to look a bit like Bailey's or something.
That is exactly it. I've had that a few times. Yeah, they're like, where's the cream? Yeah, there's no cream.
There's no cream.
It's what the Spanish used to describe the style.
Okay, good. And in our little head-to-head between you and Elliot, who's so far in the lead? Do we have an official count at the time of recording? Personally,
I am that far in the lead that Elliot's having to use binoculars to see me.
Oh, yeah. We've just discussed whether or not we think there should be a punishment for the loser. So
I think we need to think up something. We need to up the ante for next year, knowing that there's a serious forfeit should you become the loser. So yes, we definitely need to. Maybe the people listening can come up with some ideas for next year.
You can get hold of me and send your suggestions.
We shall do that.
How many of the Nuremberg Whisky Festivals have you done, Gary?
This is my second one.
Okay.
I enjoyed last year so much that I actually volunteered to come back this year. And I'm now regretting it. No, I'm not.
I put you off.
Yeah, no.
Okay, well, that's great. Do you have any highlights so far from this weekend?
I do actually, and it happened last night while we were trying to get the tube train home, where myself and my colleague Elliot were too late in getting on the train, and a certain gentleman from Indre Distillery, Madhu, decided to send some obscene gestures towards our way whilst he was going away on the train. And it was a top highlight, because had I been in the same position, I would have done exactly the same thing. It's an image that's living in my head just now, yes.
I really enjoyed witnessing it, because I couldn't see Madhu. I could only see your two sad faces as we pulled out of the station.
The sadness turned to a smile when I seen how Madhu was gesturing towards us. It was actually very, very funny.
It's good. We're performing really well as a team at Prineus. We've got a lovely bond happening.
It's been fantastic, yes.
Now we're just, violently attacking each other on the subway.
Exactly, yeah.
That's real love. Okay, and do you think you have... Oh, I was going to ask, do you think you've seen people that you remember from last year?
Absolutely. I have easily met, I reckon, 30 people that I remember. As soon as you see their faces, as soon as they start talking, you're like, I remember you from last year. And it's great to see people come back again, ask what you've got, see what you've got, and walk away again with some more Lindores products. It's, for a distillery manager who doesn't get out much, it's really heartwarming to... And I like all feedback, whether it's good, bad or indifferent. It helps me, it helps the distillery do better things in the future.
Yeah. Well, it's been lovely watching how busy you guys have been all weekend.
Thank you very much.
Pouring the drafts.
Thank you.
So, okay, that's our report from Gary. I'm going to move us on to the next willing victim of the Prineus team. Thank you, Gary.
You're welcome. Thanks, Jess.
So, part two of our interviews. I am now joined by Elliot. I've managed to drag him away from being a very busy man, because he and Gary have been the busiest, I think, on our stand all weekend. So, hi, Elliot. Would you like to introduce yourself and what you do at Lindores?
Of course. Hello, Jess.
Hi.
My name's Elliot. Wynne Higgins is my surname. And I am the exports manager for Lindores.
Lovely. And we have discussed with Gary that on the Lindor stand this weekend, you have been having a head-to-head, a battle of the casks. We've discussed Gary's cask. Can you tell me what your special cask for the show is?
Absolutely. So Gary might have touched on it already, but obviously we chose sister casks. Obviously 3 years in bourbon, and mine, I was always subjectively, I wasn't really a big sherry fan. And when we were doing the re-racks, it was all sherry. So when we came through to choose our casks, straight away I was going to the Paolo Cortado, because Paolo Cortado being the most obscure of the sherries, and also when I tried it, the cask wasn't overpowering per se on the spirit itself. So for me, I went for the Paolo Cortado. It's much more red berry fruit rather than the dark, deeper sort of raisin sultana sweetness you typically get from Gary's. And yeah, so it's going well. Good. I've been trying my best to win, but Gary's sort of nudging his way ahead. I think the colour attracts. Mine's slightly lighter, but it's been a lot of fun.
I really love these two labels together. They look like rhubarb and custard. It's a fun pairing to have.
That's right. No, I've had that a couple of times this weekend, to be fair. So I don't know if Gary spoke about the colour of the label, of why he chose it.
He didn't explain it, but I know why. But would you like to explain your colour choices for labels?
Yes, of course. So I'll start with Gary's. Gary, for whatever reason, he loves high vis yellow, to be precise. I don't know if he was, I don't know why it is, but that's his favourite colour. So we went with a deep yellow for his. And then I obviously had my baby girl in October just passed, so that's why I went with the pink for my label. So yeah, no, it's a little bit of a nuance, but it's nice.
That's fun. How many times have you been to the Nuremberg Whisky Festival?
This is my third time.
Okay.
Third time now.
I was asking Gary, do you feel like you recognise people that are coming back?
100%. We've got a very clear fan base here, and every time it's familiar faces, and it's growing each year.
Yeah.
The brand is being built here. Nuremberg, I don't know if Gary said, is definitely the best whiskey show for us as a brand in the world. So we like to come in strength in number now. That's why I've got Mr. Haggart with me this time around. I
think it's a ton of fun as well for all of us to be on such a long portfolio table together. It's really nice to kind of wander between and see what everybody has.
It's great. It's the thing I love about the whiskey industry is, we're all obviously competing for shelf space, but we're one big happy family at the end of the day.
Definitely.
We're all here to help each other, and obviously, as we know, the industry's going through a bit of a slump at the minute. But we're
I think we're going to ride it out. I think it's.
I think we're in it together, right?
Yeah, we're in it for the long haul or something. In it for life.
That's it.
Do you have any favourite moments so far this weekend?
I'll keep it PG.
Gary's already mentioned the incident on the U-Bahn home the other night.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be in the fair.
No. I'll come outside the fair. The whiskey fairs are great, and it's why we're here. But last night's dinner was fantastic. Can you remember the name of it?
It's called Land's Paradise, I think.
Land's Paradise.
And it's a traditional Franconian style inn. Pub seems like the wrong word to use, but it's a very traditional setup. We were in a private room at the back.
Yeah.
Everything is very wooden. We had long tables, and we had we got through two, good effort us, two private casks of beer that we tapped and poured. Maddie did a great job of pouring. Gary was doing a good job of topping everybody up.
That's right.
And then we had what is known locally as a traditional broadside dinner. So it's a long wooden board, lots of wood, lots of different types of sausages. Some things that I'm not a fan of. There was Metwurst and the Obatster.
The blood sausage.
And the raw. Did you get to the raw pork at the top? That's the Metwurst.
Of course I did. Yeah.
Nice. Did well for that.
It's I've got a funny story about referencing it as a pig brain, but I got very quickly corrected on that one.
No,
but honestly,
not.
As a tourist, that's somewhere that's very hard to find.
Yeah.
So the thing I love about traveling everywhere, but especially Germany, is they look after us here.
They do.
And that last night's dinner was local cuisine, local culture in its finest.
It was a fun way to unwind. The Saturday show for Nuremberg Whisky Festival is really long.
Yeah.
And definitely by the end of it, you need to sit down and a beer. So it's nice to kind of relax and unwind as a team. So.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's a nice memory. Okay.
Yeah.
And you've gone for the gentler side. You've gone for nice team bonding. Gary's enjoyed violence against other members in our team. So we'll see. By the time I get to the other end of this stand, we'll see how that transpires down at that end.
Remember, there's 3 sides to every story, right?
Oh, absolutely. And then there's the side that never leaves this stand.
Exactly. What Goethe has famously said already, what happens in Nuremberg stays in Nuremberg.
Indeed. Okay, well, I'm going to wish you two the best of luck in your continuing battle of the bottles, and we'll see what those numbers look like at the end.
Thank you ever so much, Jess.
Thanks, Elliot. So this is part 3 of my little chit-chats with our Prineus friends. And now I've made it to the poor soul that's had to stand next to me all weekend. We've made it to Aidan.
It's been a privilege.
Hello, Aidan. Would you like to introduce yourself and where you work?
Yeah, so I'm Aidan Dunn, and I work for the lovely hidden gem of Ballindalach. Mm-hmm. It's a distillery nestled in the kind of valley of Ballindalach in the Speyside. It's a single farm or single estate distillery where we do everything from barley to bottle on our nice little farm.
You do. And this is, I think, your first Nuremberg Whisky Festival.
It is indeed.
Have you enjoyed it so far?
It has been one of the most remarkable festivals I've ever been to. The scale is almost unfathomable.
Yeah, it's big.
There is more drams than you'll ever see. To the point where it's almost a real privilege just to even pour a dram, because there's probably 20,000 of the finest whiskies in the world in this room.
Yeah, it's an intense selection.
It's an incredibly intense
selection. Do you think we've got an advantage because we're by the door, so people spot us first?
I think there is a bit of that, and it's been, I mean, we're all happy to report it's been quite a good show. But no, I think obviously the Prineus guys are doing a huge amount of work here in Germany, so it's cool that it's kind of paying off and people are learning about our little brands and finding out and wanting to try them. So
do you want to tell us about, you've got I was talking to the Lindos boys, you have an exclusive as well for the show. Can you tell us about that maybe? And hopefully by the time this makes it to the airwaves, it'll be sold out, gone.
It'll be all gone. So normally we just have our single cask at cask strengths and our vintages, which are a mix of bourbon and sherry. But we haven't, firstly because we have very little Pedro Jimenez, but we'd never done a PX release in Europe, apart from in our lovely engraved bottle. So what we did was we had married 2 casks a couple of months ago for Taiwan, and we were like, this is too good to not bring to a show. So we did a little show exclusive here for Nuremberg. It's the Younger Spirit's 8, so it was distilled in 2017, put into a PX sherry butt in 2017, and then it's had 8 years to kind of mature and marry with the cask. So no, it's been incredibly received.
Yeah, I've been seeing it flying off the table, and I've had a little sippy of it when we had a pause, and it is delicious. And it seems to be going down really well with our people coming to us at Prineus. So
yeah, no, it's been really good. It's got a lovely fruitiness to it from the spirit, but a lovely sweetness as well. And it's just a really comforting dram. You know, we've got some big hitters, but this is just a super smooth, tasty dram.
Okay, and I was asking the boys at the end, do you have a favourite moment of the weekend so far?
I mean, I hate to say it, but me and Jess are definitely judging all of the outfits here, and that has always been a highlight. The kilts and Converse, I don't know if you're going to hear this, but not a look. But no, it's just been great. It's amazing I always enjoy meeting people who have come to the distillery. So that's always fun to have a chat.
Yeah, I feel like you've had quite a few visitors to the table who have said that they have been to Ballindalach and come to visit you. So that's nice that they are coming and checking out what else you have here for them.
Yeah, it's always fun when people can see behind just the brand and what's in the bottle and come and discover the history, the castle, the golf course, and the distillery. So
it's a bit of a whiskey lover's paradise.
Yeah, it really is.
Also got on the table,
it's like a mini Scotland.
It is a mini Scotland. You've got on the table a collaboration that is a release you've done with an author with John Sutherland and a book called The Castle. So far, I've not seen a masterclass where you just read a chapter and we'll drink a dram of the lovely bowl, but we could maybe schedule that for next year.
I know. It's always going to be fun to have a dyslexic person reading a book whilst drinking whiskey.
I want you to put on a very authentic Scottish accent. You could do it in Doric, and then people would just nod along.
Well, as a man from Aberdeenshire, that's always going to be a treat. But no, I'm sure for your international listeners, my current accent would be more proficient for reading a book. But
international travelling accent.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But no, it worked really well. John Sutherland's was a chief crime negotiator for the Met Police for 30 years or something incredible. So he's got a fair amount of stories.
I'll bet.
And then he's a really good friend of the family, so he's often staying in the castle. So he also understands the slightly creepiness of a 500-year-old castle that's been knocked down and the home of many stories before. So yeah, it's a really fun book, and it works really well with our only peated release that we have done and probably will ever do. It's not something we have a lot of in the warehouse, and it was a complete unknown barrel that existed. So when we pulled out 8 different barrels and we were selecting from them, we found out that in this stow of barrels was 5 peated ones. So
nice.
It's always a fun to discover something you didn't know you had.
Yeah, especially if you can tie it in with something like a book or some other fun link. Okay.
No, it's good.
Well, this is fun. Thank you very much, Aidan.
Yeah,
apologies once more for my appalling chat for the weekend.
As always, Jess, it's a pleasure. And no, thank you very much.
Okay.
I hope you get to enjoy Ballindalloch.
Oh, we will be coming back to you, podcast listeners. Don't worry. Ballindalloch is very much on the cards.
So,
okay, right. I'm off to find my next victim.
I know. Poor souls. But anyway, no, thank you very much.
Okay, bye. Okay, everyone, this is part 4 of my Prineus snapshot from Nuremberg. So I have now worked my way down most of the table to the other end, and so I've got my 4th guest for you. Hello, Madhu. Would you like to introduce yourself and who you're working with?
Hi, Jess. I work with an Indian single malt called Indri, and my job is to take Indri out of India around the world. So basically, I had the international sales for them, but it's just taking Indri out of India to the world.
Keen listeners to the podcast may recognize your dulcet tones. I think you were on the road with Joshua in the US with Impex.
Yes, please. I spent a lot of time with Joshua in the US with Impex, and we've had some great moments together. Joshua is a great character. He's introduced me to a lot of things. I think a lot to learn from him. And for people who know, he has a naughty side as well. So, yeah.
Only the kindest words. He must be paying you to say these things.
Yeah, off late the payments are not coming. So I need to just go and see him and make sure I top it up. Yeah.
Okay. I've been asking everybody. Actually, I'll start with, you guys also have an exclusive bottle for the show.
Yes, please.
Could you tell the listeners what they're missing out on? What's your exclusive bottle?
I think every year we try to bottle something exclusive and we bring it out for the Nuremberg Whisky Show. The reason is, I think Nuremberg Whisky Show has got the maximum number of footfalls that I've seen in any whiskey show in the world.
Huge.
It's huge. And serious whiskey drinkers, you know. People who are keen to know, learn, appreciate, share. And then also buy what they like, right? And it's very interesting to see that a lot of people from different whiskey clubs around the world come over here, pick a bottle, and they want to go and share it with their club and the club members and say, hey, you know what? There's a new stuff. We tasted from India. Here it is. So every year we try to do some single cask which is exclusive for the show. This year we got the first Pinot de Charente cask from our distillery. It's a peated one. and no other place in the world has got this single cask bottling.
That's really exciting. I've had a little try of it. Pinot de Charente is definitely an unusual cask to find any whiskey in, never mind I would say an Indian whiskey. So it was a real treat. Thank you very much for letting me try that.
Thank you, Jess, for trying that.
How did you guys come to the idea of having a Pinot de Charente cask?
So earlier when we started, we did not have a lot of peated casks, but we know that certain markets, there are a lot of people who love peated whiskies. The Indian spirit that we distill and mature, we find that wine cask tends more flavor to the whiskeys than the traditional casks. So we started exploring with a lot of wine casks from different regions of the world at our distillery.
Yeah.
So we had invested on a bunch of Pinot de Charente cask, and it's a 7-year-old. It was filled into bourbon and then moved into the wine cask, and it's 7-year-old. It's a fantastic liquid.
Yeah. It's really fun. You've always got, with Prineus here, we've always got a nice selection at different ages, and the guys bring in lots of different single casks. Some of my favourites have been that kind of 6-7-year-old mark. There's a bourbon cask behind the table last year in Berlin that I enjoyed responsibly sampling a couple of times, just to quality assure it, make sure that, we're representing Indri properly. And that was delicious. Do you have a favourite type of cask to put Indri into?
I personally like peated. So the peated Olorosos that we have done are something that I really like.
Nice.
I also like a very simple peated bourbon. What I really like from our core expression is the Indri Agnya.
Oh, that was fun. I had that for the first time at one of the shows.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just come into Germany.
Yeah.
So Agnya is the third core expression from our portfolio. It's peated bourbon and unpeated sherry married together, and it's a great dram. It's a daily dram. It's lightly peated, so you don't want to, you're not like sucking on some charcoal or soot on your tongue. It's very lightly peated. Lots of bourbon, character in it. A bit of sweetness from the sherry, dark fruits. It's amazing. So I think more than the single cask, I'll go back to Agnya, which is our core expression, which is a lightly peated bourbon and sherry cask. That's my favorite from the lineup.
I've also been asking the guys, now I do have to warn you that your name has come up in the report. I've asked the boys at the other end of the table to name some highlights of the weekend, and it's not the troublemaker you're expecting. Gary did suggest that maybe his favourite moment of the weekend so far was watching us sail away on the U-Bahn last night, and he may have implicated you on he and Elliot not making it onto the train. So, would you like to, with that in mind, or ignoring it completely, what's your favourite bit of this weekend so far in Nuremberg?
See, I think the favorite bit is about, this is the third year I'm coming for the Nuremberg Whisky Festival. Every year you get to know people more, you get to bond with people more, and you suddenly realize that the world is a very small place.
Tiny place.
And everybody wants to laugh and have fun, and but we are seldom getting into that zone and having fun, and it's always about being serious. I think we should all drop our seriousness and have lots of fun.
I think whiskey should be more fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
whiskey should
I'm
all
very
about
much
fun.
on board with that as an idea.
I had a fantastic time with all you guys. Jess, I got to see a different dimension of you. This guy, nice to meet Aiden, Gary and Elliot, and the whole Prineus team. They've been fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's a great show for me.
This is nice. We're setting ourselves up to sound very cheesy. Every answer we're like, we're just really having fun as a family.
Yeah.
But I mean it sincerely, listeners. We're not actually, it's meant with a genuine tone. It's really nice to hang out with people in our little camp here. We've got a lovely long stand.
Lovely long stand.
Plenty of space for us to kind of hobnob about in between and try each other's whiskies as well, of course. But yeah, it's a nice little barrier on Saturday when the masses come in.
Oh,
this is a safe space to be.
Yeah, this is a safe space. Yesterday I think it was the busiest day.
Yeah.
And, my colleague and I, Sharon and I, we didn't have a moment to breathe.
No.
Yeah,
you guys and Lindors didn't stop moving all day. It's incredible. I always love the reception that you guys get here in Germany as well. I think it's quite something to be able to say that people are quite happy to skip over single malt whiskies from Scotland because they're asking for Indian whiskey. And there are people who come to the table who I think don't know Indri but have heard that there is an Indian whiskey on our table somewhere.
Yes.
People are coming up saying, can I try the Indian whiskey? I also liked yesterday there was a moment when some guys had seen that you and Sharon were absolutely swamped. and they thought they would come and try and skip the queue by asking us for your whiskey, and we said, "Oh, you have to go back down there. Sorry."
That's really nice. What surprises me is, yes, there are a few people who have tasted our whiskeys the previous years. They want to come back and try something new.
Right.
But equally are a number of people who are coming and trying an Indian single malt for the first time.
Yeah.
And they get excited. We see their eyes opening up and popping out and saying, "Wow, this is not what I expected." So it's mixed when it comes to the people coming and trying. But we are creating more fans every year,
Definitely.
every dram that we pour. So that's what it is.
If not just by watching everybody go by with your lovely tote bags. I know that the tills are ringing this end of the table with Indri, which is great to see happening. So, yeah. I was going to ask how many times you've been here, but you've already mentioned 3. For your next Nuremberg Whiskey Festival, what would you like to see maybe on your table or people coming to you? Do you have an aspiration for what's coming in?
No, I think next year we would want to probably bottle 2 single casks.
Okay.
From the same, and this is my thought personally. I don't know if the distillery
We're not
has
gonna hold you to it
Yeah,
yet.
please don't hold. We want to bottle 2 single casks from the same type of cask finish,
Yep.
1 peated and 1 unpeated, and see how the liquid differs between
A little
them.
head-to-head.
Yeah, a little
Nice.
head-to-head. I think that would be interesting. Yeah.
Okay, that's a fun idea. So maybe watch this space when I come back and do another homework report. That's what I'm calling these interviews. I'm calling it when you're at school and you have to write a diary about what you did over the holidays. This is, first and foremost, not a holiday.
Not a holiday,
But
never.
It's nice to know that this is a report that I can hand in an audio format. Okay, thank you very much, Madhu, for
Thank
your
you
time.
so
I'm going to
much,
let you go
Jess.
back to your very busy
And
stand.
truly, you're an awesome soul. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
I am with Sharon. Hello, Sharon.
Hi, Jess.
Would you like to tell us your name and introduce yourself as to what you do for Indri?
Sure. So I'm Sharon. I manage the international business for Indri along with Madhu, but with my focus being on the UK and the European market.
I see. And that's why I can often find you here behind a
Yes.
Prinner's table.
Every chance I get.
How many Nuremberg festivals have you done?
This is my 3rd Nuremberg festival.
Nice.
Yeah.
So good. So far, so good.
So far, so good. Yeah. I think it's gotten better every year.
Yeah. Are you starting to recognize people that come to the table? I do.
I do that sometimes. And sometimes I'm completely blank and people come with all excitement. Hey, we met you last year. We tried. Then I'm like, with a blank face, I'm like, yeah.
So good to see you again. I think that's forgivable when there's, 20,000 people at this or something.
Approximately. Yeah, exactly.
I think we're forgiven for not knowing everybody's face.
Absolutely.
I hope. Sorry if I didn't recognize your face.
Well, the good whiskey makes up for it then.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
always helpful to just start pouring them a whiskey or 2. So I've been asking all the guys as we've gone along the table. Have you got any highlights for this weekend here?
We do. We do have a highlight because this time not only did we introduce a new single cask.
Which is delicious.
Ooh, absolutely. But we also introduced a new expression to the core range because it was quite some time since we did an addition to the core range. Because for the past 2 years, we'd been thinking, what new did we want to do? What different did we want to bring about? So finally, last year, we launched the 3rd expression adding to the core range, which we were able to introduce over here. So that was exciting.
Do you think it's going down well with our German friends?
I think so. I would like to think so. So far, so good.
I was saying to Madhu, it's really funny. You guys are at the opposite end of the stand to Lindor's, and they're kind of like the busy hubs at the table, and it's amazing to be pouring Scotch whiskey and being passed over because people are really excited about trying Indri, and I think that's a lovely privilege to have people coming to us saying, Are you the Indian whiskey guys? And then we point in your direction. We send them down the table. We say, no, you need to go talk to the guys at the end.
That's very generous of you.
Well, I could start making stuff up, but I think I'll get caught out really quickly. It doesn't end well for Single Cask Nation. I have really enjoyed watching you guys being super busy, and I also love that when I get a little second, I can sneak in and try things.
Absolutely, anytime.
We're saying with Madhu that the Pinot de Charente is a really unusual cask, but it is so tasty and it works so well with that peaty element.
Yeah.
To the listeners of the podcast who maybe haven't tried Indri yet, and they hear that you have a peated version, I think they may be surprised by the idea of Indian peated whiskey.
Absolutely. I think, firstly, people who've not tried Indri or any other Indian single malt, they are very surprised that India makes single malt.
Yeah.
So when they even try the core expression, they're very pleasantly surprised by it. And then having a peated single malt is like just a cherry on the icing. And the peated Pinot D cask, it's a good one. It's such a perfect balance between the peat, the dark berries. It's a
like
good one.
It's like a nice smoky whiskey cake.
Yeah.
Because it's got a lovely sweetness, like as if it's a bit fruit cakey. It's got maybe those kind of like cherries, like baked in kind of raisiny nuts, but also the smoke I think is lovely.
Yeah.
Where are you getting your peat from?
So the peat is, of course, we don't have any peat in India. Technically, it's never been explored. So the peat is imported from Scotland. It's mainly Highland peat. But the peating of the barley is done in India because we use an indigenous variety of Indian barley.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is, I think, one of the things that to me, when I smell whiskies blind, I think Indian whiskey has a really specific characteristic, which I often describe to people as when I smell an Indian whiskey, it smells warm. And that sounds weird. It is a weird way that I'm trying to use words to describe a feeling. But I think some of that is the barley, because when you taste it, it's got a very different characteristic to, say, even a Highland peated Scotch whiskey.
Yeah.
It's got like a lovely kind of warming. Yeah, I can't do any better than explaining warming. Telling people that I think something smells warm usually results in people pulling a face at me and being like, huh?
I know, it's a feeling.
It's a feeling. So that brings me to our, I've been asking people about the highlights, but I feel like you and I should discuss a particular highlight from last night, which is our new favourite German word.
Absolutely.
Which I'm very excited to debut on the podcast. And I'm ready to offend all of our German listeners, so I'm sorry.
We will definitely do that.
We were taught a word last year, which I'm bracing myself for. I'm really talking myself around the word. We were taught a word which was Schlackermaschlu.
Yep.
Which I had forgotten about until you mentioned it last night. And for the listeners who maybe are not familiar with this word, because we all are, right? We know what it is.
Absolutely.
It's a feeling. It's a sentiment.
It's a vibe. It's transcending. It's universal.
It's united the Prinis team, I'm going to say.
Absolutely.
The literal translation of it is a creamy kind of alcoholic drink.
Yeah.
And this stems from we were drinking the restaurant that we had dinner in. They brought us some hazelnut schnapps, which is a very creamy little shot to do. And our friend
Very
Tikla
creamy.
said, Schlackermaschlu. So there you go, listeners. You can slow down the recording of us saying the word, and you too can join the practice of Schlackermaschlu. I'm worried now that we've put this out, and every other German who's not been here is going to be deeply disappointed in me.
It's going to be a revolution, but I think it's a vibe.
It's a vibe. It's a movement. You've all heard of Hakuna Matata. It's been cancelled.
Yep.
Schlackermaschlu is the new... It brings
It's a
joy
new
to me to
revolution
say
taking
it.
over.
It's a joyful word. So I'm very excited to share that with you. Thank you for reminding me of it.
Absolutely.
Thank you for making me laugh so hard that I couldn't breathe thinking about it. I think all the other people in the restaurant thought you and I had absolutely lost it.
Yep.
I mean, we had. And so this is where the revolution starts.
True.
And we can toast it with some Indri and a suitable Single Cask Nation
Absolutely.
to the Schlackermaschlus.
That would be very perfect.
Thank you for spending time with me again in Nuremberg, and I look forward to seeing you behind another table.
Thanks
we always
so
have
much,
lots
Jess.
of fun. So, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Okay, stay tuned for the next part. We have made it all the way down Prineus Crescent, as Gerd was calling it. And I have made it to a really exciting new member for our Prineus family. I'm going to introduce Dietlef.
Hello.
Say hello and introduce yourself and the brands that you have brought to our portfolio.
Okay. Here on this fair we have 3 different kind of whiskies. But first, let us talk a little bit about the distillery.
Yeah, please do.
It's the highest whiskey distillery in the world.
In the world. Okay,
Yes.
This is a good starting statement.
Yeah, the stills are on 3,303 meters.
That's very specific.
In the Swiss mountains, Korvatsch, near St. Moritz.
Okay.
And we have here 3 different special whiskies. The name of the distillery is Orma. And there are 4 different languages in Switzerland: German, France, Italy, and Romansh. And
Okay.
this is Romansh. And Orma means soul, the soul.
Nice.
And the first whiskey here is in line, means in wood.
Okay.
And there's a very special finishing in Swiss pine wood.
Oh, so we've already got
It's very unique.
very high altitude
Yeah.
and very unusual casks.
Yes.
That's fun. And for the listeners of the podcast who can't see it, these bottles have vino seals on them, which, if you've ever purchased Single Cask Nation, sometimes our bottles also have these little, we call these vino seals.
Okay.
So I feel like we're in an exclusive club together because
Okay.
not many people use these.
Okay.
But I can't say that I've released anything this far that has been in any form of pine wood.
Yeah.
Which obviously we wouldn't be allowed to do in Scotland because it's not oak.
Yeah.
But one of the fun things about coming to whiskey festivals all around the world is people are using different woods.
This is our target, to go around the world with these whiskies.
Wow. Nuremberg seems like a good place to start.
Yes, it's a funny place here. The range is very small. This is a range inline from 2025.
So fresh. It's a fresh new release.
Yeah, and
Only 115.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, really small.
very, very small, yes.
And then what about these other 2? What do we have here?
Here we have a special Orma X. X mean 10. 10 years old. The other whiskies are 8 years old.
Okay.
This is 10 years old, maturing in Pinot Noir cask.
Okay.
And a finishing in maple syrup cask. Very old cask for maple syrup in Canada for 40 years. We have this old cask.
So I had somebody this weekend come and ask me,
Yeah.
did I know where I could get maple syrup casks?
Yeah.
And now I feel very bad that I should have pointed them in your direction.
Yeah.
Oh, I know for next time now. That's really fun. The only whiskey I've ever had before that was in maple syrup, Glen Murray Distillery in Elgin, did a release last year they did 2. There was a peated and an unpeated single casks in maple syrup.
Okay.
And again, because in Scotland, this is not a permitted wood type, Glen Murray had to label it as British spirit.
Okay.
So although if you and I had drunk it, it tasted just like a whiskey, because it's not in a cask which the SWA permit, you have to call it spirit drink.
Okay.
But it was incredible.
And in Switzerland or main Europe, it's different laws for maturing the whiskey.
You're not tied up to the same rules as us.
Yeah.
Pinot Noir into maple syrup is a
Yeah.
very interesting transition.
Yeah. Yes. And the last one is matured in white wine cask.
Okay, white wine.
White wine, and the barley is coming from Scotland.
Okay.
And
Are you peating that yourselves, or is that being peated in Scotland?
Peated in Scotland.
Okay.
And it's very special, unique, like, what's the name in English for this Eisenbahnschwelle sleep?
For railway sleepers.
Yes,
Which we have just
railway
discussed
sleeper.
before we started
Yeah,
recording.
yeah.
And I can tell you now, listeners, now that we have discussed that and I've had a little sniff, it smells just like them.
Yeah.
And that is such a specific tasting note that I think even our neighbours here at the SMWS,
Yeah.
I'm not sure I've ever seen a society bottle that would mention that. So you are streets ahead there.
Okay.
That's so fun. Okay.
Good.
And have you, this weekend in Nuremberg, have you had lots of new fans come and try this? How have people been receiving the
Yes.
whiskey?
It was our first fair here in Germany.
Uh-huh.
We have any customers, new customers
Okay.
found, and a dealer nearby.
That's good.
It
That's
was
really good.
For our first fair. It was a very good start.
And this is your first fair here with Prineus, but you said you have been coming to Nuremberg for quite a number of years.
Yeah, for a different company. Yeah.
Okay, so you are an old hat at this,
Yes.
we would say.
Yes.
Because I try to explain the concept and how Nuremberg looks to people back home, because there is nothing like this in the UK.
Yeah.
And I can't really explain properly how massive this venue is. And we are on the day 3, and we're in the last 40 minutes of this festival. And I don't know about you, but I am definitely ready for a sit down on a beer.
Yes, definitely.
What's your highlight been from being here? Is there anything you thought was really good or you've really enjoyed?
My highlight is our new importer here. Yes.
No, independently, everybody, without me paying them to say
Yeah.
it, has all said how nice it is being part of the Prineus family.
It's a lot of trust here between Gerd and my
I
person.
think that's great.
Yeah.
And will you be back next year
Yes.
with some
definitely.
new funky casks for me to try?
Maybe 1 or 2 more. Yeah.
Okay, that's exciting. So you heard that one here first. Thank you very much, Deetler, for your time. It's lovely chatting to you, and I look forward to being back in Nuremberg with you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I thought it was only fair to give the final word to our lovely importers themselves. Last year, I had a lovely sit down with Gerd at the front of the show where people kept thinking that we were like tour guides or something, coming and asking us questions. Joshua did a really good job of editing out people asking for like help or magazines. We're hiding now between the Lindors stand, so I feel like people will ask us Lindors questions now. So I want to introduce to the podcast Mark Björn. Say hello and introduce your official Prineus title.
Hello, my name is Mark Björn Stock, and I'm one of the 3 owners of Prineus. And we're very happy to be here again in Nuremberg with a lovely gang of people and serving whiskey.
I'm really worried that when this has all been edited together through the wizardry of Joshua, everybody independently, we've all said nice things about each other, apart from Gary, who said mean things about Madhu, but then walked it back and said he liked being part of the gang anyway. So now we all sound a bit kind of lovey-dovey. It's the end of 3 days of being together. Well, we've not started yet is the deconstruction of the stand, where there are rules to be followed. So far, so good, though. Everyone's happy.
Yeah, it's a lovely combination here. We have quite a few brands presenting here. I think we had a good place at the fair. So
Yeah, this is a great position. I love being behind the door, watching everybody run in like it's a start of a sports day
it's
at
crazy
school.
when the door opens and everyone is running into the fair.
I've got some pictures that I can share on our socials, because honestly, you have to see it to believe it. There's a lot of people racing at 11 a.m. to get to the whiskey, which I'm pretty, I'd say, hardcore whiskey, but even I have to think quite hard about whiskey at 11 a.m.
Yes, the queuing up such a long time to get into a fair. I don't know if I would do it, but it's lovely to see.
How many years have you been here at Nuremberg Whisky Festival?
I'm here, I think, the 5th time.
Okay.
Gerd was before there. Yeah, nearly every time. So every time.
Every time.
Yeah.
Do you get a long service badge? We should make a long service badge for Gerd.
Yes, for sure.
He's done them all.
Yeah. It's the same with Limburg, I think. There he just missed one, I think. Yeah. No, he missed none.
Limburg never missed.
Yeah.
He's never missed a Limburg.
Nuremberg, no, it's the 9th, I think.
The 9th? Oh, in my head, I thought that Nuremberg had been running for like fresh lengths of times. Okay. That's good. I feel like it feels a fairly well-oiled machine. There's an incredible amount of stands here.
Yes.
And an incredible amount of people. Both sides of the table, actually. There's a lot of staff here. And it's quite funny. I was saying earlier, it's fun seeing people and kind of being surprised that there are brand ambassadors that I know that I didn't know was going to be here. And that's always lovely. How do you feel this weekend has gone? I feel like we've been busy all weekend.
Yes, I think it was pretty good. It was easy to access our stand due to a lot of space we have here, which is nice because if it's so crowded in front of your stand, you cannot move. It's not so nice. So this was nice, even with a lot of people. We got a lot of new interest in a lot of brands that we represent here, and a lot of people who know us already and showed up again and asked what's new.
Yeah, that's really nice to have people that recognize what you've had previously and make a choice in a room full of almost infinite choices to come back here and choose something I think is really lovely, and it's fun to be recognized. There was an interesting little mix-up in the show announcements as to what stands. So there's a map that tells everybody where to go. We had some very excited customers who wanted to come and try our delicious carousels and hanus, and we had to make them very sad when we forced them to drink chichibu instead.
Yeah, some years ago we had them at our stand, but they are long gone. So
I was excited. I thought I had accidentally bottled some carousel in my sleep, and I was looking under the table thinking, where did I put that?
If you find anything, just let us know.
Some secret carousel. Well, I think I'll put that down with like some gold from the end of a rainbow or something. I don't think that's coming anytime soon. But do you think the times that you have done the show, do you think people are more technically minded about the whiskey? I find that as time goes on and I'm in the industry, people come up and they have much more specific questions. I've genuinely had somebody come and ask me this weekend, where could they find a maple syrup cask whiskey? Where could they find Pinot de Charente whiskey? Where they could find, very specific cask, especially cask details that I cannot imagine 10 years ago people were asking.
Yeah, it's more and more. You had maybe Limburg was very geeky, I guess. But on a lot of fairs, you had less questions, detailed questions, like you mentioned. I had the same opinion that it showed way more often here at the stand that somebody asked for a very special thing. Do you have a special distillery in an independent bottler? My taste is this and that, and very detailed. Not only I like bourbon casks, but very detailed aromas he or she is searching for. So
D-Liff and I were just discussing railway sleepers as a tasting note, which I think is that's probably the most specific thing I think I've heard all weekend. But I think we've got a good spread in here. We've got a good cover of newer distilleries. We've got whiskies that are not just from Scotland. So we've got Indri down the bottom. I think this is fun. So I think between us here, we can sort of cover anything anybody's asking.
Yes, I think so too. Good mix. Scottish, worldwide, Danish, Japan, India, of course. So it's really nice.
And some very nice rum and cokes.
Yes, Kamikara Coke.
Kamikara Coke and rum is delicious. Okay. Well, I think we've summed up the weekend. We've got a bit of everything. Everybody's had a lot of fun. I think the really hard work is you guys. After we've packed everything up here, you have to drive all the way home, and it's a long, long way.
Yes, it is.
And I'll be thinking of you as I'm sat in a bar with a beer, sitting down.
Well,
mainly the sitting down. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for inviting me back with Single Cask Nation for another year. I love this. This is so much fun. So
Thank you very much as well.
I'm definitely looking forward to being in Limburg. Finally,
Happy to see you there.
skipping it accidentally for 2 years. Sorry. And hopefully by then I'll have some all new shiny, all new Single Cask Nation for you.
Yeah.
So
Looking really forward to that.
thank you once again.
Thank you as well.
We've got 37 minutes of this show left. Let's do it.
Yes.
And this concludes my school report on Nuremberg. I hope you have enjoyed meeting everybody in our Prineus family, and stay tuned for another trip where I'll bring you with me to meet other people we find on the road. Over and out.